When we last left off, Brian walked. Oh, wait a second, that's Ingrid. Oh, sorry, my mistake. Hey friends, it's Dee-man Johnson III, and today we're going to talk about Before the 90 Days, Season 7, Episode 16. This time we're going to talk about our dumbass floppy fish-handed bitch in a wheelchair, and Ingrid.
I feel I put my best effort forward.
Okay. Which part was you putting your best effort forward? Was it the catheter in the restroom? Or maybe it was saying that she was after the green card with her kid. Yeah, that's probably putting the most effort into this. You fucking dumbass piece of shit.
I'm proud of myself.
Brian, don't be proud of yourself. You f***ed this up royally. You had it all in the bag and you f***ed everything up. All on your own. You should not feel proud of this. This is a lesson of what not to do when you're dating. God, I feel proud of myself. For what? Being a dick nonstop without even filling your dick? Well, he did fill his dick, but he couldn't fill his dick, if you know what I mean. And I think you do.
Que quer passaporte?
Who indeed?
No ponto que tem, relacionamento acabou pra mim.
Now that Ingrid says the relationship is over, I can finally say good. This relationship didn't deserve to be a relationship. Brian's the biggest piece of shit ever. Ingrid's way too good for this. What even went wrong in Brian's head? All he had to do was just sit back and chill, and everything would have worked out. Instead, he became this weird monster of a person. I can't even figure out what's going on in his head where he thought everything went wrong. He thinks it's all on Ingrid when literally he did everything.
Thought it ended a little tense.
You think it ended just a little tense?
I don't want her last memory of me to be of last night, of an argument, of an ugly Brian.
Every memory of you is of ugly Brian. There is no non-ugly side of Brian. I don't know if you realize this, Brian, but you're one of the ugliest people on the show inside and out. And the worst part is you probably think that you're in the right. I have no clue why, though. You had it in the fucking bag. You could have banged her. You could have had a relationship with her. But instead you let your own insecurities and narcissism get to you. You are the fucking worst piece of shit on the show. I can't believe people even discuss that Lauren was worse than you. You are by far, easily the worst. Maybe Crazy Reagan is a little bit of a contender also. So Brian shows up at Ingrid's apartment because he called her up saying, I have to talk to you, because of course he does. What else would a narcissism want besides having the last word? So he goes up to her room and I guess tries to justify what he was. I don't know. He says this.
E não queria isso. Não queria.
Não queria, mas falou, né?
Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you. Don't fucking give this guy any sympathy. He's a piece of shit on wheels and we all know it. So fuck him. He can stay on that wheelchair forever. In fact, there's a locking mechanism on it. I suggest you lock it right before you leave the room.
Eu tava esperando desculpas do Brian, mas não procurou se explicar ou entender.
She was expecting an apology, but all she got was Brian being a little bitch. What else is new? Water is wet. You know, we can just stand up here every day, all day, and make fun of Brian. Call himself a little floppy fish-handed bitch. Talk about all the stuff he grabs onto, even though he says his hands don't work. God, I hate this guy. We all hate him, thankfully. I remember the first few episodes, people were on his side. And I was the only one since episode 1 saying that he's going to be the biggest asshole. And it's not because of his old drug problems back in the day. Because everybody was like, oh, he did cocaine. Listen, you can do drugs and then become a good person later. Brian is stuck being a shitty person because he's a shitty person on the inside. You see, it's all about the inside. And I can tell why he was doing drugs. You know, he's a huge narcissism and drugs probably made him feel good. And of course, he's gonna do whatever makes him feel good. Screw everybody else. Yeah, I love doing these drugs because it gives me life. Well, now you get to fill life without legs. Hurrah, cause you shot yourself, you fucking dumbass. That's right, he blames it on his ex-girlfriend, but he was the idiot who thought he was gonna be a big, strong man in front of a guy with a gun. We all saw what happened with Batman's parents. If Brian was cooler, he'd wear a cape and he'd be called The wheelchair adventure.
Okay.
You think Brian's about to apologize? Then he didn't. He just keeps talking about how he doesn't hate her.
No, they will say no.
He almost makes Ingrid cry, but she doesn't because she doesn't want to show this man any weakness. Good, don't show this man any emotion. He doesn't deserve it. Brian almost cries, but he doesn't. We don't see it. I was this close to laughing right in front of his stupid fucking face, but no tears is coming out of that Frankenstein dumbass mug of his. And I don't know, I don't think he's capable of crying unless if something really bad happens to him, like not having access to your legs. Not only does Brian suck at walking, he also sucks at crying. People have been asking me what's in the cup. Some people say it's nothing, but it's coffee from this. I keep hot coffee in here and I pour it up just a little bit at a time. And whoop, there you go. Proof that there's coffee. And then I just take sips. Although I don't ever show me taking sips, I just cut that all out. But here, let me put right here all the times I took sips up to this moment.
Subscribe to Dee-man, click, don't delay. Every video drop, turn a boring day. Catch the wisdom, catch the fun, don't miss. Hit that bell, every upload, pure bliss.
See, it's coffee, and I'm not a poser. I'm a poser, but not when it comes to drinking coffee.
Companheiro, ele é companheiro.
You know, it's better this way. As much as I don't want to see her cry, I equally don't want to see her with this guy the rest of her life. Maybe not equally, I more so do not want to see her with this guy for the rest of her life. God, what a big mistake that would be. He wouldn't even be able to walk the dog.
I was hoping the trip would end with a new fiance, but instead it's ending with another ex.
Ha! Good! I mean, either way it was going to end with another something or other, another ex, another fiance, you name it. Why do I have coffee on my glasses? Watch this, I'm about to transform into a different person. Whoosh. Sort of like if Brian got up and stood and walked. You wouldn't even recognize him. Whoosh. All right, now I'm back to being dorky.
I need somebody that wants a real future with me. Someone that accepts the wheels.
Fucking knew it! I knew he would fucking talk about his dumbass wheelchairs and finding somebody to accept his condition. It's not the condition of your legs or that wheelchair. It's you, Brian. You're the biggest fucking piece of shit ever. And I just cannot wait for the tell-all. I hope everybody lets you know that you're the biggest fucking turd on the planet. The only bad thing about narcissists is they'll think that's everybody else. They will not have time to self-reflect. Brian will just be there being like, why is everybody so mean to me? It must be the chair. They're just wheelchair bullies. Bitch, it's a good thing you're in a wheelchair. I mean, you fucking did it to yourself. You literally shot yourself because you're such a dumbass and you needed to be a big, strong man. You needed to battle people with guns. You're like, I ain't afraid of that. Well, guess what is? Your spinal cord.
Ingrid was the last hope for me.
Yeah! Brian's gonna kill himself!
To find a relationship here in Brazil.
Fuck! You could have led with that. So Brian's finally leaving Brazil. Good for the people in Brazil, but not good for me because he's going back to Chicago. And I live right next to Chicago. I live way too close to Chicago. Oh, and I'm afraid of seeing Brian in his everyday life. Just wheeling around, going in his Ubers. Ah, man, every time I go to Chicago, I use an Uber because I hate driving around there. And I swear, if this guy picks me up, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to have to go for the next person. It's not me, it's you.
I have a lot of work to do on myself.
If Brian knows he has a lot of work to do on himself, why is he even trying to date? You shouldn't. Nobody deserves this shit version of you. And you are your own shit version, Brian. God, you're your own worst enemy. You ruined this relationship. You ruined your legs. You ruined your life. Everything about you is just god-awful, and the world's laughing at you now. I say he got what he deserves. I hope he doesn't get a social media following after this. I hope everybody hates him. And that's it. And we just ignore him like a redheaded stepchild, or like a guy in a wheelchair. Well, that's it for Brian. That's all there is to it. So in this episode, we got to see them finally break up and it be over for real. Thank you. It's finally done. The Wicked Witch is dead. What more is there to say about this relationship? There's nothing. Was there even a moment where they got along for an entire day, or did he fuck up every single day he was down there? There was not one thing that he did right. And that's Brian, the biggest fuck up of our time. Anyway, guys, it's Dee-man Johnson III reminding you that I'm proud of you and you're doing a great job no matter what, so always keep it up. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas this coming up. I want to recommend a YouTube channel. It's called The Poor Man's Pillow Talk. It's this funny gal from It's a funny person from I can't say Croatia in a sentence. It's this funny person from Croatia. Just check out the channel. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. Peace.